Hey guys, so I'm on the last chapter of The Lightkeeper's Daughters, so I figured I would read that to you. Okay, ready? The helicopter swoops down, flying close to the surface of the lake, and I can hear the pilot's voice through the headphones. That's Pendziwol up there. The tall white tower is easy to pick out, and the red-roofed buildings scattered across the rocky point. The lake is turquoise, blending into malted green where the bottom rises to shallows near the shore. As we approach the landing pad from the east, I can see the sleeping giant, a purple silhouette reclining on the far side of Silver Islet. It feels odd to see it from this angle, like I'm looking from the other side of a mirror. I know it's not the same. The house and light tower that she lived in are gone, burned in the fire. They built a new assistant keeper's dwelling sometime in the 60s, I think, so that's gone too. But it's what she wanted. I hold the urn in my lap. It's been more than 5 years since we gathered at the waterfront. The cold November day, God, it feels like so long ago. I couldn't convince Marty to come. He told me he'd said his goodbyes and made some excuse about needing to fix a piece of equipment, but I knew the thought of flying in a helicopter scared the shit out of him. Elizabeth arranged it all before she died. We talked about it when I was home from university for reading week. She made me promise that, but she didn't need to. I would have done it anyway. I think she knew that. The helicopter hovers briefly and then touches down on the landing pad at the point, and the rotors begin to slow. Take all the time you need. The pilot fiddles with switches and levers and then helps me to unbuckle. I remove my headphones, pop open the door, and climb down. They don't follow. It's just me and Elizabeth walking across the rocks toward the buildings. The light was automated years ago, and nobody lives in the houses anymore, but someone has been out to clean things up. Everything's freshly painted, the lilacs are blooming, and the grass has been cut. I sit on the concrete base below the light tower and look out across the lake. I can see a freighter in the distance. It's heading toward Thunder Bay, slicing through the cold water, leaving a foamy trail behind it. In the distance, I can see Pie Island. It's all so familiar, it feels like I've been here before. I returned home from school a few weeks ago. It was almost like she waited for me to come back, to be done with all my exams, to have some time to sit with her and tell her about my classes and roommates and the band I play in now. She bought me a graduation gift. I saw Marty's hand in it, but she would have told him what to get. A blue electric violin. She said she could never understand the kind of music I played, that an old lady like her could still learn lots of things, but not to appreciate wild screaming guitars and pounding percussion when there was music like Paganini and Bach. I showed her how we layered the classics into our pieces, but she scrunched up her face and shook her head, and it made me laugh. I know she was teasing me. I know how proud she was. The blue violin said so. Lori was happy to see me too. I've got my own place now, but I visit her sometimes at her house or meet her for coffee. She and Bill haven't taken in any new kids. She says they're retired. Between Caleb and me, we probably wore them out. She says no and smiles, but it's a tired smile. A couple years ago, Elizabeth got a letter. It was from the estate of Arnie Richardson and had been written a long, long time ago, but never mailed. There were some legal documents in there, including a faded copy of the birth registration for Emily's baby Anna. They named her Isabel. Elizabeth and I still aren't sure how much of the story Grandpa was able to piece together when she showed up at his door, thinking he was her father, but he would have known enough to figure out what had happened, who she was. So he took her in. He loved her. He loved me. I wonder if he told her stories about her mother, about the time they spent together on Pendziwol Island. I wonder if he showed her the picture of the dragonflies, the one she slid under his door when he was assistant lightkeeper, the one he kept hidden in the violin case. Emily knew me. She knew who I was. I don't know how, but she did. I know she did. She saw things that no one else even knew were there. That day when I found her in the blizzard, it was like it was the other way around. It was like she found me. Marty says I look like her. We have the same eyes, the color of the lake. It's a long hike to the boat harbor, and the fucking mosquitoes are insane. I almost dump Elizabeth right there on the path to be done with it. The old boathouse is still standing. It's a little lopsided, but it's been painted too and the dock repaired. I find the path to the beach on the east side of the island, place the urn on the rocky shore, and sit beside it looking out at Dreadnought Island. I didn't bring my fiddle. I didn't need to. The music is here. It's in the waves and wind, the songs of the birds, and in my memory. While I'm sitting there, I decide that I'm not going to do things like she asked. Not quite. The door is open, but I'm strapped in. On our first pass, the gulls take to the air in a flash of white wings, and then we bank around and fly over Hardscape Island again. I open the urn and lean out far enough to send the gray dust spilling over the edge. It floats through the air, drifting over the pile of lichen-covered leaves where a weathered cross marks the grave of the baby Elizabeth Livingston. A gust of wind catches the cloud before it settles on the stones and carries some of it out over the surface of Superior. The lake dances and it sparkles like 1,000 beams of light. Elizabeth and Emily, they're together again. So that is the last chapter of The Lightkeeper's Daughters. I really like that book. I'm surprised I would like it, but it's definitely interesting. I recommend it to anyone who wants to start reading another good book. The next book box should be sent out sometime next week. The people posted on Facebook that it should be sent out between the 16th and 18th of September. So when I get that, I will post a video of what the book is, and I will be posting a weekly update on Monday. So I will see you guys then. Bye.